Hi, welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we're talking about the movie The Suicide Squad. It is a standalone sequel to the 2016 film Suicide Squad, and is also the 10th film in the DC Extended Universe. As much as the 2016 movie flopped in the box office, I didn't think a sequel was warranted. However, when I found out that director James Gunn was attached to the project, I changed my tune so fast. If you're not familiar with him, he worked on other movies such as both Guardians of the Galaxy films and horror flicks like Slither and The Belko Experiment. Since he did such great work on team-related films, such as Guardians of the Galaxy, I figured there would be no one else better to handle the team dynamics of a film such as this one. The movie story follows supervillains Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a collection of nutty expendable convicts at Belle Reve Prison who join the super secret and super shady Task Force X, which is also known as the Suicide Squad. They are then dropped off at the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese to destroy a laboratory that holds a secretive experiment known as Project Starfish. Just as I expected, this movie is boisterously crazy and exuberant fun. I'm simply at a loss for words to further describe this one-of-a-kind film. As a course correction for 2016 Suicide Squad, this new sequel is so much more enjoyable. However, it does use the first film as a stepping stone to quickly move the first act at a brisk pace, whereas we don't have to have any unnecessary establishment. Quite so, I haven't had this much fun with a comic book movie in quite some time. Zack Snyder's Justice League is in a league of its own, but I have to say that I really enjoy this movie to the point as to where I think it's definitely one of the better entries in the DC Extended Universe. What makes this movie so good? Well, let's talk about it. First off, the best thing about this movie is the dynamics and chemistry from all the characters involved. I will admit that I have no previous knowledge of most of the film's characters such as Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, or the others. However, that did not stop me from having such a good time. Idris Elba as Bloodsport is phenomenal, just like in everything else he's done, and John Cena is just as you would expect, a goofy, detrimental hardhead. The chemistry displayed between the two provides a good amount of humor throughout. We also have a few returning characters from the previous film, such as Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, and Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. If there's one character that stood out to me the most, it would have to be Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. Never would I have ever thought I would enjoy his character the most, but in every single scene that he has, he completely steals the spotlight. If only we could get a King Shark solo film. As far as everyone else goes, everyone did a fantastic job. With the movie itself being rated R, there is a shockingly amount of graphic gore that will make you squirm. It's not off-putting because it is a derivative common staple from James Gunn's previous horror flicks, but the way it was handled in this movie was right on point. With it being a Suicide Squad movie and whatnot, you need to have the mindset that it's going to be bloody as much as possible. Let's just say that this movie is bloody fun. Visually speaking, we do get some really good looking CGI animation in this movie, whether it be the visual effects for the superpowers, grotesqueries, King Shark, or the giant starfish. So the movie itself is divided into many chapters, but the way the chapter titles are implemented into the movie's scenery is cleverly amazing. When comparing to the previous film's use of CGI, this new sequel is a big step in quality. Me being a visual type of person, I always have to point out how good the cinematography looks in a movie, and then in this particular film, it's breathtakingly beautiful. As far as quality goes, the movie's script is nothing short of being tremendously brilliant. The fact that Warner Brothers gave James Gunn full artistic ability without any studio interference whatsoever is probably what made this movie so good. It's so good, in fact, that even Warner Brothers wants James Gunn back to make more movies for them, and I don't blame them. Since Zack Snyder is done with the DC projects, Let's let James Gunn take up the mantle for future Justice League movies once he finishes up the third Guardians of the Galaxy, which will be his final film with Marvel Studios. It would only make sense. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say what needs to be said. This movie may be rough around the edges, but lo and behold, it's a masterpiece. This is the hill I'm willing to die on, and no one can change my mind. Overall, the Suicide Squad may be perfect by my standards, but it's going to be divisive with how it may be a hit or miss for some because there is no middle ground in between. If Warner Brothers can maintain the same amount of quality that this movie contains for future DC superhero films, then sign me right on up. I give this movie an A+. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Keep up my real reviews.